What is the most effective psychological trick you use? One that I picked up from a friend of mine whenever he was trying to pick out dinner with his GF, rather than ask what do you want and getting the typical I don't know anything answer and then having suggestions shot down. Start with what do you not want. Used it a few times in some of my relationships and it's the godsend question. I work front desk in a medical office. Patients hate updating their paperwork. I used to say, look through the pages and make any changes. They would groan and reluctantly take the paperwork, or just complain about it. Now I say, all you have to do is make changes. Saying it that way makes them think it's not much to do and they take the clipboard without complaint. It's the little things that make life at my office easier. How to de-escalate an incredible upset mental health patient who is either unknown or prone to violence. Though it works on most anyone. If they are at a level 10, you come in at a level 7. Being completely calm, reserved and polite only pisses people off more as you clearly don't understand the magnitude of the situation. If they are screaming and yelling, you need to come in loud but not attacking them. Agreeing with them, to a point. Oh, what the fuck is going on? I understand why you are fucking pissed. I would be pissed too. Yeah, that is some bullshit. The situation really sucks. Look, I get it, I would be angry as shit too, but as screaming is going to get anything done no matter how angry we are. I'm with you, I'd be just as upset. No doubt this is annoying, but these are our options. By agreeing with their anger, they are more open to listen to you. You then use words to describe their feelings starting out at a 10. Fucking pissed and gradually bringing those descriptive words and your tone down to a 2. Annoying works pretty much every time, but there might be a little up and down in the middle. Just follow the person's lead while always being a level below them. Saying hello to everybody you know, and with a smile. Often people who know Iakutha from when they were in primary school or just from the block when they were young give Iakutha an awkward smile instead of an happy good day. Just imagine. If someone walks into you twice a year and both times you smile and greet them enthusiastically, they will think of you as a nice person. So little effort for a person to find you friendly. This isn't something I've used, but I think it's worth sharing. Darren Brown said that once there was a muscly drunk guy that wanted to beat him up and said the classic, "What are you looking at?" Darren replied with, "The wall outside my house is 4 feet tall." The idea is that it puts the aggravated person on the back foot and takes them out of that adrenaline-filled state. Anyways, he sat down and the guy started crying to him about his GF. He is Darren Brown though, so I wouldn't recommend this to everyone. Think of my future self. How will my future self feel in an hour or two if I skip my gym session? Will my future self be happy if I do this pile of dishes now, before bed, or would he prefer to have to do it in the morning, before work? I have a 3-month deadline on this project. Will my future self appreciate my current self taking the first 3 or 4 weeks easy, or will he be really pissed off? Essentially delayed gratification. Pretty much all the bad stuff gives us instant gratification, while all the good stuff has delayed gratification. I always try to remember that. If I have to wait to reap the rewards, then it's probably the best option. I used this technique at university where I couldn't stand the thought of having to answer questions in front of a group of people. So if you find yourself in a group situation where someone, a leader, tutor, manager etc., is asking questions that must be answered and you want to avoid being picked so that you don't have to talk, then here is my tip. If the person locks eyes on you as they ask the question, then just as they are about to get to the end of their question, you break eye contact and look towards another person in the room and hold it. Their attention is diverted to that other person just as the question ends and the person they are now looking at feels compelled to answer. If however the person starts asking the question while looking at someone else, then look at that other person and hold it so you can't get suckered. Use it sparingly, because if you do it enough on the same person, they will be on to you. I think that if a manager or someone else locks eyes with you while asking a question, and then notice you looking away at someone else, they will simply assume you are trying to actively signal to them, please don't ask me, and are agreeing to be considerate. This isn't a trick, it's conveying a request with a gesture. Agreed. When I'm asking the question while looking at someone and see them look away, I assume social anxiety and shift to another person so I don't embarrass them. However, I also find the person later and ask them if they're uncomfortable speaking in a group and what would be a better way for me to involve them in the group discussion. 9 times out of 10 they end up volunteering to answer questions after that. I'd care if this is an actual thing or not. Or maybe just distractions. But when I do something annoying or bothersome to my husband and he goes quiet, I wait a few minutes and then I ask him a seemingly innocent question, usually on the subject of how certain parts of a car works, or something mechanical. This gets him talking about the car thing and he rambles for like 5 minutes and then bam, he's happy again and not quietly brooding. I'll never tell him I do that because I'm afraid it won't work anymore if he knows about it. It's foolproof though. It works every single time, no matter how bothered he is. A girl I like does this to me. I know exactly what she's doing and I fall for it every time. I'm a professional poker player. When I am in a pot with one other player, I often try to make them laugh when they are thinking about what to do. If you can get them to laugh, it sets them in a mood where they are unlikely to bluff. I talk a lot. In general, it's very common to make jokes at the table even in hands. It sets them in a mood where they are unlikely to bluff. Hadn't considered this. Clever. Works well because they won't figure out what you're doing either. Music. Putting headphones in and playing the music that I know I'd want to hear if I was in the mood that I want to be in shifts me over to that mentally, and really helps when I need to calm down or when I need to feel happier. I feel like this is the audio version of dressing for what you want. I get into my gym clothes even when I feel sluggish, because it will put me in the mood to work out, or I'll put on work clothes even when I'm working at home because I'll be more productive or more professional on the phone than if I were wearing pajamas. My wife calls this the simplest, most manipulative thing I do. Whenever I bump into an acquaintance, meaning not friend, just a person I know, I of course say hi and the conversation goes like this. Me: hey, how are you? Name: you look good. Them: laugh, thank you, I'm good, how are you? Me: I'm great. I'm on the way to wherever I am going to at the time and I tell them why too. So what are you doing here? Them: go into same detail to tell me where they're going and why. Me: alright, well I won't keep you up any longer than I have a good day. Name: it leaves people feeling good, takes away the awkwardness of cutting a convo short and it makes them want to leave. If someone says they have the hiccups, ask them to prove it. 9/10 times, their hiccups will disappear. Having to summon a hiccup in order to demonstrate will trick your diaphragm into just not hiccuping. I've been able to twist it around on myself with some success as well, but it takes practice. You realize you have hiccups, then try to hiccup. Actively try to make yourself do another one. It'll stop. If you need to de-escalate someone and get them to communicate, asking questions about numbers, personal information. I work in emergency services. If someone is totally distraught and shut down, asking their phone number /address /SSN /birth date can pull them out of the emotional place and bring them back to a headspace where they can talk about what happened more easily. I often ask these questions even after I have the information just to de-escalate. I have a tendency to give outdated information in a stressful emergency. When asked my kid's birth date, I've given my own. When asked my name, I'll say my maiden name from 16 years ago. When asked my phone number, I'll recite my childhood home line. Don't know what's with that. Brain freezes and regresses, I guess. Not exactly the same thing, but once I was writing my phone number down for my dog's groomer and he was chit-chatting with me. When they called me, it turns out I'd actually written my sister's phone number down because I was distracted. Ended up pretty hilarious actually. I work with a bunch of idiot lawyers and I use the phrase "you're correct" all the time, even if it's one teeny tiny thing they're correct about. It makes them feel smart and they instantly soften. It also keeps them listening because they're hoping more flattery will come down the pike. Evil cackle. I speak at conferences all over the world, and a lot of the speakers use this in their Q&A. If there's a particularly hard question to answer, they always start with "what a great question," etc. etc. Generally speaking, the asker is so pleased that their question got praised by the speaker in front of all those people that they are less critical of and pay less attention to the actual answer. My youngest, 4, got into the Y-phase a little while back. Read an article that said the best way to get them to stop was to ask them, "I'm not sure, what do you think?" It is a godsend. They answer their own question, you provide some feedback, "sounds good to me," and they immediately move on. Fucking awesome. Yep, works like a charm. My daughter is very into this right now. It drives me insane. After a huge bout of questions the other day, she actually said, "Daddy, why do I keep asking why?" I just stared at her and tried not to burst into huge racking sobs of tears. Edit, thank you for the silver. As a bit of background, my daughter is lovely. We try very hard to coach and teach her as much about the world as she can understand, but she does not stop talking ever. From the second she kicks our bedroom door open at 6 in the morning until we wrestle her into bed at night. It's a never-ending stream of consciousness that includes questions and an endless narration of what she is doing, has done, hopes to do and wants us to do. Immediately, she is a walking filibuster that is obsessed with unicorns. I haven't slept past 6.30 in 4 years. Please help me. Edit 2, thank you for the gold. I'm not going to tell my daughter, I'll never hear the end of it.